Welcome to Growing Pains and Gains, the podcast where five lifelong friends navigating life across three states, Nebraska, Kansas, and Texas, share their real, raw, and often hilarious takes on everything under the sun. Join us as we embrace the growing pains and celebrate the gains that comes with life's journey.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi. It's good to be back.
Yes. Good to be back.
We've got all five of us today. I'm Alex.
I'm Audra.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Catherine.
And I'm Maria.
Okay, so for episode 5, it is all about pop culture today. We are going to be talking about headlines, TV shows, a Super Bowl review, and more. So to kick us off, the first thing we are going to do, I'm sure most of you have heard about the little popular trend going around called We Listen and We Don't Judge. So I am going to kick us off. We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't
judge.
So I actually did not know anything about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake feud until after the Super Bowl. I had no idea when he was like singing the song and that it was a diss track and all of that stuff. And now I know so much in the past week that I've Googled it all. And it's crazy. I had no idea. I feel like I'm the only one that didn't know anything about it.
No, you're not the only one.
No, it's diss track.
You were. You all were.
We were the only
Maria.
ones, Audra, you knew?
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know it was a diss track until after he won the Grammy for it. Like, it was on the radio all the time this summer. And
Okay,
in Virginia,
so-
it played over and over, but I had no idea that
It's
it was
like
a diss
diss
track.
and Drake.
Oh, can I
Yeah,
ask
he's dissing
Yeah.
him.
Okay,
But
so
there was a
a question real fast? Chelsea, how do you not know it was a diss track when he said, "Say Drake"?
I never heard that. And just like I was literally during the Super Bowl, I was like, I wonder what note A minor is.
oh my
Literally
I
thought
Oh
know,
my
that
I
God,
was
are
like,
you
that's
serious?
I am dead serious. And Lucas goes, you know that he's basically calling Drake a pedophile that whole song. I'm like, oh no. I was like, oh, that's
No,
what
no,
A
you
minor is.
And that song was like really
yeah, I
what
didn't know that.
what ended
Ended
it pretty
it.
much. Like, I mean, after that, Drake came back with something, but everybody was like done listening to Drake at that point. I mean, Kendrick just shut it all down with that. But it had been going on. I mean, there were songs going back and forth, and it really started with like Drake and J. Cole did a song, and this was like 2023 maybe. And they were talking about the two of them and Kendrick Lamar being like the big three. And then Kendrick Lamar came back and made a song saying like he was just the one, like he was the only one. And so then J. Cole did a song which is completely out of his character that was kind of like a diss song to Kendrick Lamar. And then he was like, you know what? I don't want to get in this. This isn't my style. Like, he's never been like that. He took it off all platforms. Like, you can't even hear the song anymore.
Oh.
So then, no, J. Cole. So
Okay.
then he like completely removed himself. He's one of my favorite rappers. I love J. Cole. And he's always been just like out of the drama, out of that, all of that. Like, he's not mainstream. He just does his own thing. So anyway, then this kind of kicked things up between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And they went back and forth. There were like songs going back and forth. And I remember one, I don't remember the order, but this was probably like around, I don't know, springtime of 2024 of last year. And Drake dropped his diss track, and then Kendrick Lamar came back 20 minutes later with a response. And that was just
Oh
like,
my.
everybody was like, oh my gosh, he's so talented though. And everybody, all the rumors or the disses to Drake is that he has ghostwriters. He doesn't write his own music, his own raps.
Right. I do
But-
not think Drake is a rapper.
No. I mean,
So-
Like,
This
like
is like
sings pop music.
why a lot of people diss him. And so he has great lyrics, but they say he doesn't write them. And so Kendrick Lamar came back 20 minutes later and responded. And then that had everybody like, oh. And then Drake came back again. And then when Kendrick Lamar dropped that song, that was like the one that kind of shut everything down. They Not Like Us. Like, how do you even respond to that? And yeah, he's calling Drake a
No.
pedophile. And he's like, Certified Lover Boy, which was one of Drake's albums. He's like, Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile.
Yeah.
So, but
He
my
didn't say that in the Super Bowl, did he?
No,
He
he
didn't say that line?
bleeped out pedophile. He
Oh,
said Certified Lover Boy, Certified. And then it like,
But
bleeped
can I
out.
say, though, there are rumors on TikTok that when they panned over the dancers, it spelled pedo.
Oh,
Oh.
That's
bet it
what
did.
the theory is.
I did not know that, but I do know that he was not supposed to say Drake's name in the song. You know, Drake filed a lawsuit against the label, against Kendrick Lamar's label. Yeah. And so he was not supposed to say Drake's name, and he looked straight at the camera and said, "Say Drake," and smiled.
So loud and proud too.
So I know.
So
I
loud
love
and
him
proud.
though. But I've liked Kendrick Lamar since like 2012. Good Kid, Mad City. That was his second album, I believe. And so I've always like, I don't want to say I'm a huge fan or anything, but I've always liked him since 2012. And a lot of people really didn't even know who he was until recently. People who don't really listen to rap music, I should say.
Teeny tiny.
I liked him, and what I like is that on like now everyone on TikTok is on Kendrick's side, which I love. But they were like, he went to therapy and he's a healed king. And what the one thing that Kendrick is teaching us is that we're not petty enough. And I agree to that.
Well, the thing I like him is he's always just been very true to himself. Like he's always just been himself, done things his way, and not fallen into like the mainstream. Like Drake is so just like mainstream and into, you know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share, this was one of my favorite parts of it. And my sister actually shared this with me many months ago, like when everything was really going on. And it was Tom Hanks' son had shared these texts, and everybody loves Tom Hanks. So I'm like, I've got to share this part. But he shared the text between him and his dad and put them out on Instagram or Twitter or one of those. But so Tom Hanks had texted his son and was like, "Hey, can you explain the Drake Kendrick Lamar feud to me?" So he says, the son says, "Yeah, so Drake and this other dude, J. Cole, been saying they along with Kendrick are the big three in rap. Then Kendrick put out a song saying, F the big three, it's just big me, initiating the beef. Then Drake was like, you got small feet because you're like 5'5" or whatever. And then Kendrick was like, you're a deadbeat dad, and made fun of his Canadian accent. So Drake came back and was like, oh, yeah? Well, I heard you beat your wife. But literally, like 30 seconds later, Kendrick put out a diss overshadowing Drake's diss, where he pretty much methodically dismantled Drake's entire physique and called him a pedophile for flirting with young girls, and revealing Drake had another kid that he was hiding from the world, which turned out to be false. And Drake came back and was like, ha ha ha, I got your ass. I had people give you false info to make you look stupid. But it didn't even matter, because then Kendrick just dropped another West Coast banger where he literally went in on labeling Drake a pedophile. That was pretty much the sonic equivalent. Hold on, let me find back in my text. That was pretty much the sonic equivalent of when you took me to your high school in Oakland and we walked in on the basketball game and everybody started going nuts. Like if you heard it, you would just automatically know how to crip walk with a stank face while clutching an Oscar in each hand with Marshawn Lynch, then dap him up and tell him town business, which solidified the win not only for Kendrick but the entire West Coast. And then Tom Hanks says, holy cow, these are fighting words. People taking sides? Who's winning? And his son said, did you not just read what I said?
I love that.
I do too.
And I think even what's better about the whole performance is that he had Serena as doing the crip walk during it.
You know, it's Serena Williams.
Because that's Drake's ex-girlfriend too.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, exactly.
And also didn't she get fined for doing the crip walk?
Yeah, she did.
Or she got in trouble for doing it?
In 2012 at the Olympics, she did it. And when she won the gold medal, and yeah, it caused a whole big scene. So she got to come out and be herself. And you know, they're both from Compton. So they're from, Serena wasn't born there, but that's where she grew up. That's where she was raised. Her and Kendrick Lamar. So
yeah, I love that. That's such a perfect way to explain it in layman's terms. How he explained it to his dad. And
I thought it was so cute.
Like, so who's winning? Like, clearly you didn't read the message.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I have a little we listen and we don't judge. I'm a big Chiefs fan, and I watched every game this year and didn't miss one. The first quarter of the Super Bowl was extremely painful, and I didn't watch any of the rest, and I didn't even see the halftime performance. I had to go back and watch it. I was reading on Facebook that people were saying the performance was bad. So I'm like, I just don't imagine Kendrick Lamar doing a bad performance. So I went back and watched it, and I'm like, this is brilliant. I thought it was fantastic. And then there were a lot of posts the next day on Facebook about it, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this went over a lot of people's heads, and they didn't really understand like the semblance and significance of it. But that's what I mean. Like I've always liked him and J. Cole just because they don't fall into that mainstream thing. So they don't do a lot of the big flashy shows that people are used to. So it probably was an unpopular pick for that, opinion.
Yeah.
But it's like if he would have had, it's like one of the things I'd read. If he would have had women out there dancing half naked, stripping down poles, and putting on some big performance, people would have complained about it. But it was very tasteful.
Well, they're going to complain about anything. It's not.
That's the problem with
People are
social
always
media
mad.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody always wants something to complain about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get.
Chelsea, what did you think about the Super
Maria,
Bowl?
what are you saying? Did you hate it?
I didn't like it. No.
Did you watch any of the things like explaining it or anything like that?
I was just so confused. Like after the fact, I learned it from you guys, but no. Well, and actually, my 13-year-old kind of explained it too.
Okay.
But I'm gonna add this little "we listen and we don't judge." I thought Kendrick Lamar
Oh my gosh.
You what?
I thought Kendrick Lamar was the one who dated the Kardashians.
Kanye West.
Lamar Odom.
Oh, Lamar Odom.
That
Really?
he was a basketball player, and
I know that's
And
what
like
that
2
gets-
feet taller than
what-
Kendrick Lamar.
That's what no, I didn't even know who Kendrick Lamar was. I wasn't even like I was just thinking Lamar and Lamar Oat. Like I was thinking
Yeah.
names. Had no idea. Yeah.
That's better than when I thought you meant Kanye West.
I know.
well, and I had seen somebody put about Kendrick Lamar. They were like, "This is like somebody like only the new kids, the 20-year-olds would know." I'm like, Kendrick Lamar's our age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like he was born in 1987. And it's been around since, like I said, 2012 is when I first started listening to him. Like,
But
this is
also
some-
the younger crowd do really like him. And that's what like my nephew was saying that, like we had Usher
I
last
really
year.
like him.
Yeah.
And this year, my nephew was super pumped to have somebody that they actually knew.
Yeah, no,
But-
I'm just saying it's like,
I mean,
this isn't some like brand new rapper that just came out that's 20 years old. Like, this guy's been around.
But I
He
will
won
say-
5 Grammys
Yeah, he won 5 Grammys. But
just
I will say,
like recently.
I will say that I think the point of the Super Bowl was for you to talk about. I think that was what the whole point was.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be a performance. It was supposed to be a statement.
Yeah.
And you can interpret that however you want to, but I think it was supposed to be talked about. I think that was his
Yeah,
whole
and it
goal.
Totally
has
agree,
been.
Audra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we listen and we don't judge, but I was most sad that the Chiefs lost because Taylor and Travis couldn't go out on the field.
Do you think he was going to propose? I heard a rumor that he was going to
Oh
propose.
my goodness.
Propose?
No. Never.
How do
I
you know?
told-
Did
I
Taylor
said-
tell you no?
He should have saved his engagement for after they lost and went out on the field and done it then. Did it then.
Taking the glory.
So speaking of that, I think a lot of people either hate the Chiefs and don't like Taylor Swift because of the Chiefs, or people who do like the Chiefs and Taylor Swift, either you were a Chiefs fan and then became kind of a Taylor fan because you're a Chiefs
Right.
fan, or you're a Taylor Swift fan and then kind of became a Chiefs fan because you're a Taylor Swift fan first. So Chelsea was definitely a Swiftie first and then started watching the Chiefs.
Well, Lucas likes the Chiefs, so we've always watched
Yes,
the
yes,
Chiefs,
yes, yes,
but
yes.
I don't care. I
but
just
you
want them to
started
win
getting
so I
really
can see Taylor. And I
passionate
started,
when you could, yes.
I started
Yeah.
watching so I could see Taylor.
Yeah.
So I was a Chiefs fan and not really into Taylor Swift, but I got to know a lot more about her once she started dating Travis Kelce. And she's fantastic. Like, I think she's not only extremely talented, she writes her own music, which I did know before that, but she's just a good person. And seeing like all the things like wasn't it Children's Mercy in Kansas City where
Yeah.
she went
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
Christmas?
Yeah.
She's
It was
just a
on her
great
birthday.
person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was pissed when I didn't even see it. Like I said, I wasn't watching the Super Bowl, and I think it was before anyway. But I had seen the clips of where they were booing her, and Chelsea says it was the Eagles fans, I guess. So I don't know
Yeah.
who was booing her, but it's just like boo a team if you want to, but
Right.
don't boo an
Right.
individual person. You know what I mean? I
Right.
think she looked all embarrassed, and I'm like, that's just
Yeah.
so. I don't know.
I
It's
have
just like
seen that
Yeah, go ahead.
that they apparently like the Eagles fans, like everybody says that they're awful. But apparently that they boo everybody and like even boo like they booed Santa Claus one time. I don't know. But like
So
they're
that makes it better.
no, but I mean it's not just like I know
A
that they did it
personal
because
attack,
of
basically.
Taylor. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, so one thing about this, did you have more to add about that, Catherine?
Just that it pissed me
Can
off.
Can I add something?
Yes,
Yeah.
Audra.
Do you think that Jason wished that he didn't retire this year?
I wondered that too.
Probably. I mean, one
Yeah.
more Super Bowl. Yeah. who
I
wouldn't
know
wanna-
one more Super.
Oh
yeah, it was-
yeah. Oh yeah. Because he would have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys see what CJ Gardner put in his story? Eagles player.
I do know who he is, but I didn't see what he put.
Okay, so apparently in his stories, in his Instagram stories, he like insinuated that Travis shouldn't have left his ex-girlfriend Kayla Nicole. He said
Oh.
you should have stuck with that thick SLUT is what it like was all.
Whoa.
And so then, okay, so I didn't know all this. Okay, so then he wore to the parade on Friday. He wore a sweatshirt that said "Swifties can LIX my balls."
I did hear
And-
that. Mm-hmm.
But my nephew, I was like, "That's so awful."
It's
But then
stupid.
my nephew is stupid. But my nephew said, "Yeah, it's because all the Swifties after he put that story out on his Instagram stories, he all the Swifties went and attacked his parents. They all went and review bombed his parents' restaurant."
Oh, see,
And I was like,
hate
okay, well
stuff
then
like that.
Yeah, see, and I was like,
Awful.
okay, well then they deserve it because that's ridiculous.
So they can't LIX his balls, Chelsea.
It?
Yeah. Well, because it said Swifties. But anyways, but also Google took the reviews down and also the restaurant's closed.
Oh,
Wait, like it was already closed or it closed because of this?
I think it closed in January sometime.
Oh.
But still, it's messed up.
yeah, it is.
So much.
Okay, so back to Taylor and Travis. Do you think they're going to get engaged? And if so, when?
No.
And you don't think they are?
Why not, Audra?
Because I'm sure she's on TikTok on some
Yes,
conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100% on TikTok, and I'm 100% behind the conspiracy. No, they're not. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I believe
So when's the breakup
someday.
date? When's the breakup date, Audra?
probably
Yes.
in March, probably so.
Look, Chelsea's pissed. Look at Chelsea.
I just don't want to even think about it. It makes me so sad.
You take it for so I do not believe it.
I,
No.
I
Wait,
haven't-
Maria, you think it's real love or you think it's a conspiracy?
I think it's real love.
Okay. So let's take a vote. Can we do a vote here? Maria, do you
Yeah.
want to do a
Yeah.
poll? Who is it? We're gonna do a poll on our Instagram too once we release this episode, so
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
can chime in. Okay, show of hands. Who thinks it's a conspiracy?
Not me.
Just one. And for
Okay.
our listeners that aren't watching, it's only Audra. And Audra's about to get kicked out of the pod.
I believe everything I see on TikTok, and I believe it.
So I kind of thought so at first, but now I think it's
Yeah.
real.
I kind of thought so at first too, but at this point, it's like that is a long time, and they've got way better things to do than
And you
to
know,
draw this out. for
Can
that
I
long.
just say this? Can I just say this? Look how fast she dropped her best friend with all the other drama going on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like that too.
There-
But
Yeah. Well, let's
No.
talk about that then, Maria.
Who's
That's
your
what
best friend?
Blake Lively.
Like,
Oh.
lively.
but just because
Hold on. We got to do the whole. Okay, Maria. Let's move on to this next topic.
Okay,
Which
real
is-
quick though, I'm gonna add. I feel like Taylor, for as famous as she is probably as real as they get.
yeah.
Don't see
From what we
her
know. Mm-hmm. I think so too. She seems real.
to do this just for fame or just for like more. What more fame does she need? Really?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I just
Well, okay, so one
Sounds
podcast that I
good.
listened
good.
one podcast that I listened to, they say that she's never really had a love story that everybody's rooted for, and that PR could have put them together because they wanted to make the Chiefs the next like Patriots where everybody roots for them, and they don't really have that like hot Tom Brady quarterback to I mean they're
But I
Yeah.
don't think anybody roots for the Chiefs except for Chiefs fans.
That's what I was gonna say. Now everybody hates
no,
the Chiefs
the
except for Chiefs
Swifties
fans.
love the Chiefs now.
No.
That's
And-
true.
They have brought so many people, I feel like, over to the Chiefs. But anyways, that's what they say the reason why the PR put them together, and they thought maybe like they don't say that it's not real now, that maybe that they actually did fall in love.
It was like
that,
an arranged marriage and they actually fell in love.
Yeah.
Well, only time will tell.
yeah, but they're still gonna get married. I think. Okay.
Okay. So for we listen and we don't judge. I love the book, Colleen Hoover's books, and it ends with us. I love it. I love the movie, but I had no idea what the drama's about with Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively and the guy who played Ryan.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the book. The book was so good, and
It was.
I probably listened to that book 3 or 4 times on my way home to Coffeeville when I would drive back there. But I did not like the movie. I didn't think the movie
Oh, I
was
thought the movie
good.
was so good.
Okay, well, here's what I will say. Anybody who's a book lover, and Audrey, you and I are both book lovers, the movie is always extremely disappointing, no matter what it is and no matter how well they do it. You just can't fit, a 7-hour book
Yeah.
into a 2-hour movie,
Exactly.
and so many details are left out. And I
There
love
were
to
a
read
lot
books.
left out. I
And
agree.
every single time I watch a movie that's based off of a book, I'm always disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was disappointing. I didn't think that it captured the message of the book either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't. Well, probably because Blake Lively didn't even read the book. So that's part
I
of the
know.
problem.
Believe that. I could've-
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Yes.
That's so messed up. I thought I would think
I know.
that would be like your number one job. I mean, that's your job. So
I would think so you can really embody
Yeah.
the character.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not like a crazy long book.
No.
Or just listen to it.
Such an easy read.
Yeah,
It's an easy read.
Yeah.
that's a theory.
Okay, so I got the scoop on Blake Lively
Yeah,
and
so
Justin Baldoni. So Justin Baldoni, he was the director and the
He owns the
producer
rights. And he
and
also owns the rights.
owns the rights. Okay, and
He played
the main actor, and
Ryle.
Ryle, and he reached out to Colleen Hoover, asking to be a part of the movie. He was very passionate, wanted to do everything for this movie, and she picked him to do it. Well, like I said, Blake Lively did not read the book, and then she wanted to come in and change the script. She wanted to rewrite things. She wanted Ryan Reynolds, her husband, to rewrite things. She wanted to change the costume design and all this stuff. So she kept arguing with Justin Baldoni about it, and basically threatening if he didn't do what she wanted, that what she said was that she would what did she say, something about her dragons, that
She has her dragons.
she
Yeah.
has her dragons, and her dragons are Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, that they have so much power that they can do whatever needs to happen to get her way, basically. So when they were promoting the movie, and there's so much to it, we can't even get into all of it, but when they were promoting the movie, she kind of got everyone on her side, and he was off in his own little world, promoting it, actually talking about the themes of the book, which was domestic violence and her being a survivor and all of that. And then Blake Lively and the rest of the crew were promoting that it's this girl movie, and that it's all about floral and pretty stuff.
Yeah, go out with
and
your girlfriends and dress in
Yes.
floral and come watch the movie.
And that's what she was saying in the promo.
Yeah.
And so she got a lot of backlash because people were like, that's not what the book is about. That's not what the movie should be about. They felt like she was downplaying how serious this movie was. And so then for the first time ever, her reputation was in question because everyone had liked her.
Well,
and Ryan
not
Reynolds.
the first time ever.
Well, yeah. But I guess the first time it went viral, I would say.
Yeah.
It had-
but I mean, it's been known that she was a monster in Gossip Girl, apparently.
yeah.
That everybody in Gossip Girl
Mhm.
hated working with her.
Yeah, but I guess because she wasn't as famous then maybe it
Yeah.
didn't make such a big deal. But anyway, so basically once her reputation was tarnished, then she tried to flip the script and say that Justin Baldoni was sexually harassing her on set, and that he would walk in when she was breastfeeding, and that he fat shamed her when she was postpartum, and just all of this stuff. And so she filed a lawsuit against him. And when that first came out, everyone was
She did. It wasn't a lawsuit. It wasn't a lawsuit. It was a just
the
like
New
the
York
New
Times.
Times wrote an article about it wasn't a lawsuit, but it was I don't even know what it was.
Well,
to be
she
honest.
did eventually file a lawsuit. But
Oh, did she file one?
Yeah.
Okay, but
Mhm.
she didn't file one until he did.
Yeah. So she got the New York Times to write this article basically shaming him for all of that. And when that came out, everyone basically was on her side, oh my gosh, it sounds like he was awful. I can't believe he would do all of this. And then he filed a lawsuit for defamation and had all of these different facts that basically debunked everything that they said, and that what they had released, Blake Lively's team, was all like they redacted things, like they took messages out. They basically made it to fit their narrative where it wasn't really the full truth. It was taken out of
Right.
context and things like that. And so then he like put all of it out there. He created a website called like the lawsuit info or something like that. And I went through it today and there's like 200 pages long of like
Yeah.
all of this evidence of him being like, this is all what really happened. Like, this is not true. And then basically ever since then, people believe Justin now that she was just the bully and the mean girl. And there was this whole clip that came out that she basically stole like the unedited version of the movie that that Sony and Justin Baldoni like didn't want released. It was her version, not what they wanted as the final version. But again, she was trying to take control of things. And she like flew to this, I don't even know what it was. You know what it was, Chelsea? Something where she
I
was like
don't.
on a panel, like talking about the movie. And she specifically said that she likes to get hired as an actress and pretend like she's just going to be the actress and that she just wants to like play the part. And then once she gets on the set, that then she tries to take creative control, that she wants to change the costume design. She wants to be a part of writing. She wants to do all this stuff. And she even said, and then the actor or the producers and the directors feel like the rug's just pulled out from under them because they thought they just hired me to be an actress and that just doesn't fulfill me. So that's just not what I'm going to do. Yeah. And then she even
Get
said,
out of
and I
here.
stole this version of the film to bring to you. They did not want me to play this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And she
Oh my
played it.
God.
Yeah.
None of her clips age well at all.
No,
No.
I know. So
I
yeah.
And I
don't
hate it because I
Catherine, what do
loved
you think?
her.
What's
I
up, Kat?
loved her. Not now.
I know.
So she
I'm
sounds
glad I didn't know
awful.
this before
So
the movie.
Alex, I feel like you really did a lot of research. So who do you believe Justin then?
I do now. When it first came out, I believed Blake. And then once he was like, no, 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 and released everything and basically just every single fact that she had, he debunked it and had proof of like how that wasn't true. And so I really think that now it's because her reputation was tarnished because people did not like how she was promoting the movie because she didn't read the book and didn't understand that it was like she wasn't selling what she was supposed to sell. And everyone who read the book was looking for that in the movie. Like no one was
Right.
thinking they were going to the movie to watch like a girly floral, like, you know, Galentine's kind of thing. And that's what she was saying. And then she was like, oh crap, how can I like twist this to make it in my favor? And so her and Ryan Reynolds did all of this stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's so much more to it, but I definitely think now that Justin was in the right. He didn't do anything basically, and that she just wants her way and she thinks that she's powerful enough to get it. But my main thing now is I want to know what Taylor Swift's role is in it because she brings her up a lot and makes it seem like Taylor was a part of it. And I
Right.
don't know.
Yes, I did hear that.
What do you think,
Chelsea?
Chelsea?
What
I
do you
just
know,
that
Chelsea?
they had him over to their penthouse for a meeting and that Taylor was there at one point, but they don't know if it was like what her role in it was or if she was just there or what. But
To
they don't
the
know because they brought him over there to try to get more control over the movie and to try to get, you know, him to agree to let them do whatever they wanted, I guess, because he wasn't backing down at first. But then he finally just like rolled over and let her have her way. The one that they ended up releasing was Blake's cut.
And it was awful.
Bad. That's why
I liked
bad.
it.
I
I loved it.
I mean, it just wasn't true to the book at all. Like, even
wasn't true to the
knowing
book,
other
yeah.
movies that were based off a book, like, even if details were missed, I felt like it still was at least true to the book. It just, some
Mhm.
things were missing. And I felt like this was just like a whole other story. Like, it
The
just didn't
whole
really.
point of the book was domestic violence.
Right.
Right.
And that was like
Absolutely.
barely touched upon.
Yeah, it wasn't even the focus of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, and we saw it with somebody who hadn't read the book, and when he first like slapped her or whatever in the kitchen, my friend leaned over to her sister. She goes, "Did you realize that he just hit her?" And she was like, "I had no idea," because it doesn't show it until the
It doesn't
end.
even really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Exactly. There's just nothing.
But like I could see them doing that too to like be like not trigger people so they don't want to show the actual abuse. So I thought that that's why they did it.
that's what I thought too.
No,
Well,
Nope.
another we listen and we don't judge moment. I just stopped watching it because I didn't like it. I watched it probably halfway through, and then I was like, I would rather just go back and read the book, listen to the book again because the book was so good.
Yeah. Okay, last
Right.
thing on that, and then Audra, we can go to your listen, we don't judge. But I listened to a podcast today of like the latest. That's why I know a lot of this information to make sure I knew everything. And Blake and Ryan Reynolds tried to file like an amendment to their lawsuit after Justin filed his, and they're trying to get more evidence. And the due date to release all of their evidence was supposed to be February 10th, and they asked for an extension, and they got it extended to February 14th. So they were supposed to have it all done. It was like 4 days later. Well, then they filed another extension, and they asked for like another month or something like that. And the judge came back and said, no, like, if you have
Good.
all of this evidence, like, why is it taking you so long to produce
Right.
it? And so they gave them one more day. So instead of Friday, February 14th, they have to provide all the evidence by Monday, tomorrow, February 17th. And so all these like things that I was following, they like can't wait for the tea tomorrow to see what gets filed because they think that they just don't really have anything and they needed more time to like construct their story.
Right.
So we'll see. Catherine.
Yeah, this is kind of a pain for the week, but I actually just got done listening to a Frida McFadden book, and it was called The Wife Upstairs, and she copied, it was the exact same as Verity by Colleen
Yeah.
Hoover. Like, she literally took the same exact story plot, and her character's name was Victoria instead of Verity. Like, how many V names do you know? And I'm
Mhm.
like, hold
Which
on,
one was written first?
Verity was written in 2018. You better believe I went back and
Well, no,
looked
I just
because
didn't
I
know
was
if the-
pissed off. I wasted $12 on that audio
Yeah.
book. I didn't even
Except
get it from
the
the
wife
Libby app.
upstairs, she didn't have any kids. That was the only thing that was
The
different,
only
right?
thing that was different. It was like
Yeah,
she
I know.
stole the whole story plot.
I know. I
And
read
I
them
was
both
so
too.
mad that I paid for that book.
I
Mhm.
don't like that.
I know.
Either.
So some Colleen better get her.
I know.
I know.
Wonder what he had to say.
Okay,
Mhm.
Audra, what drama do you have for us?
Okay, we listen and we don't judge. Okay, so Scamanda. I thought the podcast was so well produced. It was
Yeah, it was so
amazing.
good.
Chelsea was the one that told me to listen to it. I was driving back from Coffeyville to Houston, and that's like a 10-hour drive, and I listened to it the whole entire time. It was amazing. And then they just released the Scamanda Hulu documentary on Hulu. And I don't think it's that good. And maybe
This is
it's
the first I've heard about it. Or after
Maybe-
you read
Okay, so
that.
Audra, tell our listeners, what is it about?
Okay, so Scamanda is about this younger lady, Amanda, that is
A scammer.
having cancer. And she raises all this kind of money. I mean, I don't even know how much money she
It's
raised.
like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
thousands of dollars that she raised. And come to find out, she never had cancer at all. It's
Well, she would always beat it, and it would always
And
come
she
back.
said it was terminal cancer. Terminal.
Yeah. And it was like years and years long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She kept saying that she had it, and then, like you said, she beat it, it'd come back, all this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not only that though, like she just messed up so many people's lives. That
Mm-hmm.
her husband that she's with now was the people that she used to babysit for.
Yeah.
They married, sold the husband right out underneath her and took their
Yes.
daughters, and she only wanted one of them.
Mhm. Well,
But-
only one was the husband's. That's why.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that part, but I
Mhm.
just remember them talking about it on the Hulu documentary series.
Yeah. And the mom of the girl who got taken away, like in the documentary, like I just want to cry for her. Like she was like, yes, like she was like, I didn't do anything wrong. And because Amanda was such a liar that they just like fabricated all this stuff so that they could get full custody of their daughter. And it was so
He was
so
awful.
sad,
She
but-
was so manipulative.
So manipulative. But then there's also another show on Netflix called Apple Cider Vinegar.
Saw that.
Oh.
What is it?
I heard about that. That's been
What
really
is it?
trending.
Also really, really good. It's also about a scammer.
Okay, well,
From
don't spoil it all because I'm about to go watch it.
I want to
tonight
watch
now.
it.
yeah, I won't spoil it all. But it's about a scammer in Australia that fakes cancer. Then she comes up with this whole cookbook about holistic approaches to cancer. It's
Oh.
crazy. And I watched that all in like pretty much 2 settings.
Okay, well, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Definitely
And then
watch
for any of our listeners that do watch Scamanda, it's a 4-part documentary. It airs live on ABC on Thursday nights, but then it's also on Hulu.
Mhm.
And the last episode is this week, so I don't know what happened. So you guys
How
can't
many
tell me.
it's you said it's 4 parts?
I think it's 4, maybe 5, but the last
Hulu.
one is this week for sure. It's
So
supposed to be.
only 4 episodes?
I think so.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but the podcast has like 10 episodes that are
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Mm.
crazy long that you can get so much more detail. And the person that produced the podcast did such a great job, and I will die on that cross.
Okay, well, maybe I need to go listen to that because I'm kind of invested in the story now.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
listen to it, especially if
Okay.
you have a drive or something coming up.
I
Yeah.
do.
So
Okay.
Coffeeville alumni.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's do our pains and our gains for the week. So I will kick us off, and I did come prepared this time, unlike last week when I didn't.
You had such a
Okay.
perfect week last week.
I know. Okay, so my pain for this week is that Foster, our daughter, like immediately after we finished recording the podcast last week, we realized that she had a fever and she could not go to the Super Bowl party. So that was a huge bummer. Her and my husband stayed home. My husband's not a Chiefs fan, so he was fine with not going to the Super Bowl party. And so then she had to stay home because she had a fever on Monday and Tuesday. So I was trying to work from home with her, and it was just a little bit challenging. She wasn't doing anything bad, but she kept wanting my attention, and I was busy at work, and it was just super stressful. Well, Wednesday, she was good as new, ready to go back to school, and then we got a snowstorm. So then she had to stay home another day, but luckily my husband was able to stay home, and my son was out of school, so we just tag teamed it. But then she finally went back to school on Thursday, and then my son is out of school from parent teacher conferences and President's Day. So he was out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday for President's Day, and we're supposed to get another snowstorm on Tuesday.
They're
I
like
think that-
15 inches, isn't it?
Yeah, well, my weather app says we're supposed to get like 15 inches. I don't know if that's real. It's crazy. But supposedly word on the street at the school is that we're not going to go to school the entire week this week because not only are we supposed to get a lot of snow, but the temps are supposed to be like -30 in the
Yeah.
morning or something.
oh yeah, no.
Oh my God. So that's my pain for this week and probably next week. But anyway, my gain is just that we had a really nice weekend at home. We just had a lot of family time. We didn't do anything crazy. I mean, we did do the fondue for Valentine's Day, which you guys saw. We did some posts on our Instagram page about it. The kids loved it. It was super fun. We had different things that we had to go do throughout the weekend, but it was just a lot slower than normal. And like this morning, we all kind of slept in a little bit. I asked Jordan if he would go get me my favorite coffee, and I was just playing a game with Foster, and I even just said out loud, I was like, I'm just in a really good mood today. We've had a really good weekend, and I don't even have the Sunday scaries, which is a good day.
Great.
So it was just a nice little weekend, and I'm ready for the next week. So that's me.
Alex, where can we see that that reel that you guys made for Instagram?
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
I know. What's our handle?
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Come on, y'all. You
At
guys are such noobs
GPAG.
to the podcast world.
GPAG the podcast, is that it?
GPAG_ the podcast. So
Okay.
go watch that reel and follow us
Yeah.
if you're not
Everybody
already
go follow us, like it, and comment.
at
Yes.
GPAG_ the podcast. Good
And
job,
don't
Chelsea.
forget, we're also on YouTube
Guys.
if you want to see us there. And on YouTube, we are Growing Pains and Gains, and same for Apple Podcast, Growing Pains and Gains podcast. So
Yep. And they're all linked in our Instagram page.
yes. All right, Audra.
Well, it's good to be back. I was the no call, no show one last week podcast. My brunch extended a long time. But I'm glad to be back. So my pain for this week, my pain and my gain are going to be the same thing. My pain for this week is that I stopped vaping.
Mm.
Awesome.
That's just a huge gain in my book. but
Yeah.
I understand it's very
I'm
hard.
sure
Anyone
it's
that has
hard though.
done it, it is one of the oh, it is so hard. And it's so sad to think that that little device had such control over my life.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was in bed. I woke up yesterday morning and I started crying.
Today is
Oh.
day 3, Audra?
Day 3, as of 5:27 p.m. tonight, it's been 72 hours.
Wow.
That's awesome. Good
Yeah,
job, Audra.
Awesome.
now, Audra.
Yes, and so, yesterday I woke up and I was crying because I just wanted it so bad, and it was like that feeling of where you just wanna jump out of your skin. It was the most uncomfortable feeling, and the thing is that it passes and then it's gone, but then it will come back and, so that's what it is. But in my gain for this week is that I stopped vaping, and this is the longest I've been.
Audra, it's awesome.
100%.
We're so proud of you.
Audra.
It is
Yeah.
extremely addictive. Nicotine is extremely addictive. And
Yes,
it's
it
very, very hard to quit. And so we're pushing for you. We're cheering for you, girlfriend.
You got this, girl.
Yes.
And now you've told the whole world, so you have to
Yeah,
not.
go
do
Yes.
back into 100.
Yes,
Follow us for her journey.
yes. Chels, what about you, girl?
All right. So, my pain. Well, first of all, I want to address the elephant in the room, and that is how bad my sound was last week. I apologize to everybody, but I'll talk about that later. But anyway, so my pain for the week, was that like a month ago, I have this big freestanding bathtub in my bathroom, and my son was, climbing around on it, and he didn't even do it. He didn't turn the water on or anything, and it just started leaking out of the faucet. And I was, like, freaking out because I couldn't get it to stop, and then I just was messing around with it, and finally, in the morning, it had stopped. And so I'm like, I don't know if it went on for 2 days or what, but, I haven't used it since because I've been too scared that it's gonna start, leaking. And so when he tries to climb on it, I'm like, "Get off of it." Well, the other night, he was sitting on the side of it, and he, like, fell back into it, and it started leaking again. And I was freaking out because I don't wanna have to call a plumber. I don't and Lucas and I were not handy. So Lucas, I
Chelsea,
love
you
you.
should have, you bought your new house, you should have a home warranty plan. Most realtors make sure you get a home warranty plan with your new home
Well,
purchase.
would that have been on? I don't would that okay, well, I don't.
Ask your
Um,
realtor.
Yeah,
Just ask your realtor
usually
to
you
be
do.
sure. Yeah. And most times
Um
the seller will, it's like in the contract, the seller buys you a home warranty plan. And then you just have
Oh,
to pay the copay. So you might look into it.
okay. Well, I don't even have to do that because my gain for the week is that I got on YouTube and I started looking. It's so easy, and I just unscrewed some things. Lucas sent Lucas to Lowe's, and we went and we fixed it.
Yeah.
So that's my pain and my gain.
That is a gain.
That's
Yeah, it's such a good
awesome.
game because it cost $4 instead of like who knows how much it would have cost. Probably hundreds
Yeah.
of dollars.
Yeah, they would have,
Um,
at
Nice.
least a couple hundred.
Yeah. So, and also my other gain for the week is that Lucas went out and bought me a whole new like microphone setup and something, I can't remember what he called it, for my sound and
Like
And
an
we hear you
audio.
loud and clear today. We hear you.
yeah,
Start.
if it's picking up the kids upstairs yelling and running around, I apologize.
It's not.
But
Nope, we can't.
yeah, so that's my gain. So
That's
don't
awesome.
sound
Go
like
Lucas.
a robot anymore. All right, Catherine.
So my pain for the week is, I'm just going to complain for a little bit. This cold weather, I'm so over it. I'm so sick of it. And yes, I live in
Girl.
Dallas, which is not as cold as Kansas and Nebraska, and I'm well aware, but it's miserable. And I'm just tired of the cold weather. But I had to do a moment of self-reflection because I'm like, I haven't been feeling like as energetic lately and just kind of like blah. And I was like, it's because I haven't been getting my steps in. And when the when the weather's not nice, I just have no desire. But I'm like, I had to have this talk with myself and I need to reboot because it makes such a difference. And like, even if I do a workout, it's not the same as getting my steps in and getting that daily movement. And so my pain for the week is the cold weather. But my gain for the week is that I had a long, hard talking to myself. And so I'm about to get really, really back into it. I'm starting back tomorrow. And even if the weather's not nice, I'm going to at least go out in the garage and get on the treadmill. And so I am committing to at least 30 minutes of walking a day. That's usually about 2 miles when I do it outside.
Mhm.
And I ordered a 3-day juice cleanse from a company. I've done one before a few years ago. So I'm going to do 3-day juice cleanse starting on Tuesday. They'll be here tomorrow. So I hope to come back
Nice.
next week and tell you that that's my gain for the week and not that I that I quit and gave up halfway through. But I'm really excited for it because usually when I commit to something like this and really get back into it, I go super hard and really, really, really get back motivated. So I'm hoping this is the jump I need to get out there and get my steps again, even when it's cold, because I do not like feeling this way. And I miss the energy I have from getting my daily walks.
Yes, you got this.
All right. Thank you. What about you, Maria?
Well, my pain would be being sick last week for ever and it was like 5 days straight of a fever and it was awful, awful, awful. But my
Would you like to publicly apologize to Derek for the man cold?
I'm so sorry. When I started getting sick, I went to him. I said, "Oh no, I think I have it now." And I
Poor
did
Derek.
apologize to him then right away because I felt so bad. But my gain would be is we're all healthy finally, and on Wednesday we had a snow day, so that was a fun little surprise. And Thursday we had parent teacher conferences, but we also had a snow day, so I only had to go to conferences that afternoon and evening. So that was real nice. It was a nice slow week after forever of being sick.
Yeah.
And real quick, another pain is Derek leaves tomorrow for Colorado all week. I know. All of the boys and I both are just so sad about it.
How long is he gone?
Is mom and dad coming?
One
No,
night.
not anymore, just because since everybody's been sick.
Okay.
He'll come back Thursday, but then the gain is we're going to Coffeeville for the weekend for alumni weekend.
Hey, hey,
The whole
hey.
family, Maria?
No, just Beckett or just my two bookends, and my middle one has a basketball tournament. So him and Derek will stay here for that. And
Oh, I was about to say your two bookends. I was like, what the hell are you?
my bookends, like
The oldest and the youngest.
one.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for the podcast you didn't know you needed. Now you know. So we hope you'll join us next week on Growing Pains and Gains, where we'll be discussing our favorite things and giving a recap from the alumni weekend in Coffeeville.
Let's go, NATO.
Oh, no,
Oh, bye.